truly honored to be standing here, representing my peers and fellow graduates as we celebrate our special day. First and foremost, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge all the teachers, mentors, and administrative staff, as well as friends and family, for all their invaluable support and guidance they have provided us throughout our lives. Without them, we could not be where we are today. Additionally, on behalf of our graduating class, I would like to express my gratitude to all the teachers and staff who have worked tirelessly and done everything in their power to ensure that our achievements are still being acknowledged and celebrated despite these abnormal circumstances. Fellow graduates, today marks a special day for us, one that we have been preparing and looking forward to for the past 13 years of our lives. As we stepped into our first grade classroom with no idea as to what the next 12 years would have in store for us, it was difficult to imagine this time would ever come. I can vividly recall the admiration and awe that I felt in elementary school as graduates would come and greet their former teachers in their cap and gowns. As I look back now, it seems surreal that we have grown up to become those tall and intimidating young adults that I once looked up to. From our first day at Charles Spencer High School to now, we have made uncountable memories, lifelong friends, and set dreams and aspirations for the future. It is during our time in the halls and classrooms of this school that our transition from the carefree youth to facing the realities of the world as young adults took place. Each of us has had our own unique experiences at Charles Spencer, a combination of good times and bad times, times of laughter and joy, times of school spirit, and of course, times of debating whether or not we felt like attending advisory. As our time together as Charles Spencer students comes to an end, it is important to acknowledge everything that we have been through and all the change that we have gone through. Change is not an easy thing. People are scared to step outside the safe bubble of the status quo, reluctant to break old habits and leave the security of set routines. Change cannot come without adversity, and for us, that adversity was high school. In no way was high school easy, and despite our fair share of difficult moments throughout the years, we made it. However, there is no way to ignore the fact that our class is distinctly different from those we have witnessed in the past. In these last few months, our world was truly flipped upside down. We felt helpless as we saw sports competitions, school trips, and graduation ceremonies get replaced with lockdown measures, social distancing, and unemployment. Unbeknownst to us, on a Friday in March, we shared our last day together as high school students. And here we are now. I am not on a stage in front of you, nor are your friends and family watching you from the seats above. You will not hear your name be called as you walk across the stage to obtain the diploma you dedicated years of effort, hard work, and tears. Instead, you are watching through a screen without knowing when we will return to the normality that we so desperately desire. Just like myself, I know many of us are upset, disappointed, and frustrated with the abrupt end to what was supposed to be our most memorable year of high school. But as with all things in life, we must try to rise above the pitfalls of our own self-pity and seek the lessons that can be learned within our less than ideal circumstances. If these past few months have taught me anything, it would be that it is far too easy to take things for granted in our lives. It is not until we have lost these things that we truly recognize the significance it held. As Andy Bernard once said, quote, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them," end quote. As I realized our time at Charles Spencer had come to an end, I couldn't help but recall all the little things that had made it so memorable, from freezing outside during January fire drills to trying to sneak in the occasional nap in social studies, or hearing the ominous clicking of Miss Matheson's heels down the hallway. Our premature farewell to this chapter of our lives made me realize the importance of not only being able to truly appreciate the days we had, but also gaining the mindset of appreciating every day that comes after. Recent events have shown us that life is unpredictable, and we are not as in control as we might like to believe. We cannot allow ourselves to become so caught up in the past that we forget about our future and present. Don't look back years from now and wonder what could have been, because our future depends on the actions of our present. Luckily, we are young. We have room for failure as long as we have the courage to allow it to motivate our success. Winston Churchill once said that, quote, "Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts," end quote. As we are poised to move on to the next great adventure in our lives, we stand on the cusp of infinite possibilities at our feet. I urge each and every one of you to cherish the new memories you create and live each day with purpose. This marks the end of yet another extraordinary chapter in our lives. With this chapter closed, I am sure that many of us are already anxious about starting the next one, because unlike an English book, we cannot skip through the pages of life to see how long the next chapter is going to be. We all have our own book of life that has not yet been written, and every day that passes is another page we write in ourselves. And although I may have stopped physically growing in the 9th grade, as a class of 2020, we should be proud to have all grown into a group of young, capable individuals who hold the future in our hands. We are now leaving behind our legacy as Mavericks and entering a world that needs us more than ever. Here's to the class of 2020, one that will undoubtedly go down in history. Thank you.